What happened, Gretchen, is they were adding different stations. They've been slowly backing out high-altitude rural temperature stations to focus on thermometers sitting in the middle of cities and on airport runways and in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, hanging over a barbecue grill.
Why would NASA be involved in this whole media storm? Why NASA?
Right, that's a very good question. NASA became increasingly a global warming taxpayer-funded agency with the relative decline in space funding. And when you're talking about $7 billion a year writ large in climate-related research, scientists are people too, they began sexing things up. And this gentleman, James Hansen, who is the custodian of the data, has a history of yelling that anybody named George Bush who's a president is muzzling him. The first one, the second one didn't matter. He's a bit of a committed radical global warming alarmist, and he began sexing things up, it appears, during George W. Bush's presidency. They do have a lot of money at stake.
So they lied to you about global warming, even your government agencies. And this is all what? So you can have how many taxes? Meanwhile, in Sharon, we showed inconvenient truth to our children. We didn't show them any opposing views, no. And they being the people that control your media, told you carbon dioxide was bad, didn't they? Well, have they lied to you before? Have they told you they took the mercury out of the vaccine? Next week's show, I'll show you the inserts I got from the Weymouth Town Hall where they had vaccine clinics, where on the insert to the vaccine it says, yeah, we still put thimerosal in. When you get the multi-vial dose, guess what? You get mercury. Thank you, Lytton Industries. Who used to run our bioweapons labs? But hey, believe everything they say because it's okay with you. That's all right. But anyway, here's one for you. A little bit of more global warming stuff. Show them the picture. This is, I call it the heat of the moment. UN climate chief cashes in on carbon credits. Okay? This is from Jerome Corsi. This is out of New York. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Rajendra K. Pachauri. Okay? He's the guy who won, by the way, the Nobel Peace Prize with Al Gore. Oh, and by the way, quick Al Gore thing. Take a look where the people that give out the Oscars want to pull Al Gore's Oscar now that they found out that the climate warming thing is a hoax. This is out of the LA Times. Bang. You probably thought I was kidding. Okay? I hope that's not okay with you, because I try not to kid with you too much. So anyway, here we go. New York. We're back to the guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize for this global. He's been in charge of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So we're gonna whip this at you. This is a story emerging out of Britain, suggests follow the money. That's what we say here on The Real Story. This may explain the enthusiasm of the United Nations to pursue caps on carbon emissions, despite doubts surfacing of the scientific community about the validity of the underlying global warming hypothesis. A Mumbai-based Indian multinational conglomerate with business ties to this guy, Rajendra K. Pachauri, making bad of his name. Look, he's an evil guy. Take it, when I say evil, evil incarnate. But anyway, the chairman since 2002 of the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, okay, stands to make several $100 million in a European Union carbon credit simply by closing a steel production facility in Britain, which, by the way, the British will lose 1,700 jobs. So not only is Al Gore, Bernie Madoff, okay, Goldman Sachs, the clown who sold you the UN global warming thing, not only are they going to make hundreds of millions of dollars telling you that every time you exhale, it's going to cost you. You take a bite of food, it's going to cost you. You think I'm kidding. You people need to wake up. These globalists are, they're selling your grandchildren down the river. Don't forget, October 27th, 2007, here's the Obama man telling you what he's going to do the first day he gets in the office.
I will promise you this, that if we have not gotten our troops out by the time I am president, it is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
Now, did you hear? You can take that to the bank. Well, he took it to the bank, and he stole from your children and grandchildren with those bailouts, right? Just like Bush. No different. But how many Obama stickers do I see around still? Okay? The guy who's got a logo. Here's your leader who says he needs a security force just as strong, just as powerful to be domestic than the U.S. Army.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
You ought to look into Northcom. There's some homework. Think about it. Here's your guy, he wins the Nobel Peace Prize 12 days after being in office. 12 days! What could he have done in those 12 days? Well, I'll tell you what he did day one. Maybe this is why he won the Peace Prize. Check it out. What was the first thing? The first day, what was it, January 20th? He gets sworn in. They bomb Pakistan with remotely controlled vehicles, right? Yeah. That's what a peaceful guy does. He's bombing Pakistan, you betcha. By the way, show him what's the first thing he's going to do? And the first thing he did day one. But here's what he said the first thing he was going to do.
It is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
Because when he promises you, you can take that to the bank. And I told you with the bailouts, who funded him? Goldman Sachs. Take a look who the biggest campaign contribution of Obama was. Just like McCain, no difference. I try to tell you that. I try to tell you, take a look, follow the money, see what's going on. But what's the first thing he's going to do? Play it again. It's the first thing.
It is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
Find out if I lie. Was the first thing he did day one was bomb Pakistan? Once again, aren't they a sovereign nation? Pretty soon, when there's a drone flying over your house, you can't communicate with a drone, can you? You can't say, hey, stop where you got the wrong guy. Hey, you got the wrong family. You got the wrong little girl. You're blowing up a wedding party. Hello? Is anybody listening in the drone? Hello, drone? Drones don't listen, do they? But meanwhile, they train your children with what? With video games. So they get used to seeing blow up, go. And funny, the controllers are just like those controllers, aren't they? Yeah, and you can do it from where? Around the globe. Pretty soon, you know, a few people can really blow up a whole bunch of people. But think about it. He won the Peace Prize. Now war is peace. Now remember, Al Gore and that criminal from the UN won the Peace Prize for the global warming hoax. And they're making hundreds of millions, and you are going to be enslaved in your new global government. And every time you exhale, they'll go cha-ching, and the money will go to banksters. It won't even go to poor people, won't go. And meanwhile, they're going to take land that you could grow food, okay, and they're going to grow what? Biofuel. Even here in Massachusetts, you home heating oil people, 10% of your stuff will help starve people in other countries. Because when poor people can't afford food and food doubles, what does that do? Is that like giving them a death sentence? Holdren, the new science czar, said, we'll put stuff in your food. We'll put stuff in your water. We'll put stuff in your vaccines. That's what he wrote. Look up eco-science. And by the way, I know you're not bad with that because it's okay with you. So go to the mirror. Hurry up. Shut the show off. Go to the mirror. Practice your excuses. So when your grandchildren says, but Daddy, why if you knew that was going to starve millions of people? Why? You can have an excuse. But Daddy, when you knew the whole global warming thing was a hoax and that CO2 was good for plants and the earth needed it, and they said, hey, forget what you learned in 4th grade science. We've got new science for you based on lies. You can have an excuse to tell your grandkids why it was okay with you. And when you found out that, you know, gee, they lied you about wars and they created a police state and the bankers stole from everybody and they killed people all around the globe, you can tell your grandchildren why it was okay with you because you've practiced those excuses. So anyway, as I look at you in the lens, and you're done watching me, and thank you for watching The Real Story. I had to go in overdrive because you have to listen to Obama again because he's your hope and he's your change. Listen one more time.
I will promise you this, that if we have not gotten our troops out by the time I am president, it is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
You can take that to the bank. Banksters. Cool, don't get me going on globalist banksters. Have a great evening.
Question is, will they kill untold millions as they did in the last century? It is not the elite cockroaches that determine that. It is you.